Hello and welcome to episode 267 of bookcareers.com live. It's our Book Careers podcast, and today I cannot believe we've done 267 episodes and we haven't yet spoken to somebody from the Publishers Association. So here we are today. We have Jasmine Joynson, the Senior Communications Manager of the Publishers Association. And Jasmine, welcome. And you're going to kick off by telling us all about what the PA, as it's known, does.
Thank you so much for having me on, Suzanne. I'm very excited to tell you all what PA does, although you know very well. Yeah, absolutely. So to kick off, the Publishers Association is a membership association for book and journal publishers. So publishers are our members, and we represent publishers of all sizes and specialisms. And our overarching aim is to champion publishing to the wider world and also to ensure that our members have everything they need to thrive. And so that kind of looks like providing a place where members can discuss issues facing publishing together in a kind of competition safe environment. And providing them with kind of information and analysis that might be useful to them running their businesses. And then if they do kind of raise issues with us or there is a problem they're facing as an industry, we'll look for solutions to this and then kind of campaign if that's needed to get these solutions realized, really. And then I guess the most high profile campaign that we're involved with at the moment is our work on AI and copyright. The Publishers Association is currently campaigning to encourage the government to protect the UK's gold standard intellectual property laws and to ensure that tech companies are required to keep records of and be prepared to disclose details of the work they've used to train large language models. And really the best outcome here for all parties is that tech companies would license works from publishers. And so that's the goal that we're campaigning towards. And so in a kind of day-to-day running of the Publishers Association, that looks like our policy and public affairs team regularly meeting with parliamentarians and people in government to kind of share the publishing industry's position on this and our suggestions of how to resolve these issues. While our communications team, including me, kind of work with journalists to raise these issues in the media. And then as well as running campaigns and producing research and reports, we also host events sort of in person and online. We run regular webinars throughout the year. And if you work for one of our members, so if you work for a publisher that's a member of the Publishers Association, you can attend these events. So do take a look at our website if that's you and see what we have coming up. And of course, we also run some careers focused campaigns, which I think is what I'm mainly here to talk to you about today.
Yeah, and for those regular listeners of this podcast, this is either who's aligned with our schedule. This podcast is either early or late, depending on which way you look at it. I mean, one thing about the Publishers Association is how successful your lobbying of government has been in the past, particularly as regards VAT on books and VAT on ebooks. And I mean, it's really, as you say, about setting gold standard. I mean, you really do set the gold standard for lobbying on behalf of the industry.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, that was our active reading tax. The campaign was very successful.
It definitely, well, yes, and a huge benefit to everybody, in not just in the industry, but everybody in the country as well, because we should not tax reading. Now, we're having an ongoing discussion here about publishing jobs of the future. Within your role and talking to people within the industry, are you seeing new roles emerging or any specific industry changes?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the main area that we are seeing growth at the moment is audio. So the Publishers Association releases annual stats every year about the previous year, and sort of how publishing has performed, how UK publishing has performed. And our 2024 industry stat showed that audio had grown 31% against 2023. So it's really booming. And audio teams are looking to attract more kind of talented people. And I think this is really interesting because as with bringing a print book to market or an ebook, there are a range of roles that go into creating audiobooks. So I think it's these roles that people might want to consider or might want to think about. I can sort of run through a few of them. Every publisher will be different and have different roles, but some of the kinds of roles that I'm talking about, that's useful.
That would be very helpful. Thank you.
So an editorial role in audio, so that is the equivalent of being a print or ebook editor, but for audio. So when the publisher is considering acquiring a book, your role there would be to look at the audio proposition. Does your publisher want to publish this in audio? Will it be profitable? And then if yes, you kind of commission that, that would be part of the deal. And that role would probably also be responsible for any of the kind of like high level decisions about the approach, and possibly also casting, who will be reading the book. And then there will be a sort of production team, a production role, and their responsibility would really be taking the book or the manuscript and getting it recorded. So that's much more granular. When you're heading into the studio with your actor or your narrator, you'll have checked sort of place pronunciations, character pronunciations. You'll have ideas about how certain characters should be approached, and sort of manage the actual recording of the book, and then also be responsible for post-production. So is there going to be music? Are there sound effects added after? That kind of thing. Some publishers probably have bespoke kind of marketing roles for audio, because it might be targeting different markets, or you might want to kind of treat your whole audio as an offering. So this would kind of entail the same things that marketing would normally entail, apart from with a focus on audiobooks. So that would be, social media, online advertising, influencing campaigns, collaborating with kind of appropriate partners, coordinating with marketers who are working on maybe the print or editions of the book to make sure where there are joint opportunities. And then for bigger titles, possibly kind of like bigger set piece marketing moments as well. And then finally, kind of operations. So that's literally getting the files to the retailers, making sure the metadata is all correct, making sure the imagery is all there, that kind of really granular, kind of everything's in the right place at the right time so that you can go on to your phone and download an audiobook. I think also next week, which is Work in Publishing Week, we think that we're expecting Chelsea Graham from Bonnier Books UK to be sharing a day in the life of working in audio. So if audio is something you're thinking might be interesting for you, keep an eye out for that.
Lovely, thank you. And it's great. I mean, it's great to see so many different roles within audio as well, not just have emerged, but continuing to emerge. And I look forward to seeing Chelsea's day in the life of as well.
Yes.
So, Work in Publishing Week, it's a big week for the industry. It's a fantastic initiative. Um, what is Work in Publishing Week and what are the aims from the Publishers Association?
So Work in Publishing Week is our annual campaign to encourage people to consider coming into the industry, consider working in publishing. We're sort of particularly targeting kind of 16 and above in terms of age. And what we try to do is to sort of give an insight into the huge variety of different roles that are available in the industry, and a bit of a sense of kind of what's involved in those so that people can kind of delve in, have a look around and see if there's something in there that really appeals to them. Our industry is nothing without our people. So we need to make sure that we're continuing to recruit really talented, brilliant people who are enthusiastic about publishing. Um, and so yeah, this is our week where we share as a Publishers Association kind of resources and insights into working in publishing, but it's an umbrella campaign. So um, lots of other organizations get involved too. So our publishers will share information about, from behind the scenes at their publishers, perhaps, and then lots of other organizations, including Book Careers, host events. I think you've got 3 events next week, Suzanne,
I've
that you're
lost
involved.
count. I've lost count of what's actually going on because I think there's more events.
Oh wow, fantastic.
Because we've got and they're all concentrated on the Thursday of the 20th of November and Friday the 21st of November. So on the Thursday the 20th, we have a live Q&A with Stephanie Jemmett, the Senior Talent Manager of HarperCollins. And
Fantastic.
details of all of these events are on the Book Careers website and will be linked in the show notes. Then at 2:30 p.m., I'm doing a call that's just for schools, which is aimed at 16 plus. I'm aiming to record that as well, but it really depends on a number of issues. Most of our events we don't live record because the information that's given is very much of the moment and usually expires within about an hour or two afterwards. So we don't like to give out misleading information, and also depending on who's speaking, people are able to be more candid when they know that it's not going to be broadcast afterwards or available long term as a recording. So I've got that at 2:30. We've got HarperCollins at 1. I've got that at 2:30. Then at 7 p.m. we've got our usual monthly Book Careers Job Club. So the Job Club, if you don't already know, is for those who are thinking of entering the industry or career changers. It's a monthly call with me where I talk about what I've picked up then within the last few weeks through my work, but also because I constantly talk to the HR managers and recruiters across the industry. So I'm able to give you some snippets of information, and talk through some current job advertisements as well, and answer a huge amount of Q&A. Usually I answer about 25 plus questions in half an hour,
Oh
and
my goodness.
it's it's a very, very active and intense call. And afterwards, we over Book Careers Job Club, we always have an after party where a handful of people get to speak to me one to one as well. And then on the Friday, we have a virtual careers clinic. So we have it's basically a long online call, and you can drop in. You need to register for all these events. You can register and have a one-to-one online, and we've got inspired selection all day. I'm all day. In the afternoon, we've got Bloomsbury Publishing for a little while. I'm waiting for confirmation of one other publisher, and that's going on between 10 and 12:30 in the morning, and then from 2:15 to 4 in the afternoon. But at 1 o'clock, while there's a break in the middle of the virtual careers clinic, is because we have a live Q&A with Elizabeth Simpson, the recruitment and outreach manager for Penguin Random House UK.
Fantastic.
So that's going to be another really interesting Q&A. And so
Absolutely.
I've forgotten how many that is. I can't count on these because I've got events running this week as well, because it's this week is Scottish Careers Week when we're recording this, and I've got a live Q&A with Publishing Scotland
Oh,
as well.
fantastic.
So it's really, really intense 2 weeks. And of course, it's also Discover Creative Careers Month.
Yeah.
So you'll see if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, book publishing is an option, what other creative careers there are, then check out the hashtag Discover Creative Careers. And
Yeah.
also for work in publishing, we use Book Careers, we use that hashtag all year round on every post. And I usually say that work in publishing week for 51 weeks of the year, Book Careers is work in publishing week. Every week is work in publishing week. And usually for 1 week, we let everybody else take over. But this year, we're being very active
Yeah,
participants. So
absolutely.
it is a great it's great if you're just starting out your career, changing into the industry, but also, and one of the things that I'm hoping that will come from the chat that I'm doing for schools is that we need to keep encouraging a very diverse workforce and making people within outside of the industry realize you don't need an English degree to get a job in book publishing. And now you don't really need a degree to get a job in book publishing. There's lots of other options, including apprenticeships. I'm doing all the talking, Jasmine. I'm meant to be interviewing you. So, how can people participate? I mean, we've got lots of events here. Are there any other ways people can participate?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, if you're, if you're busy when these events happening, then, you can absolutely look at all the resources that publishers, organizations are signposting to. So take a look at the hashtag work in publishing. Um, I mean, LinkedIn is, I think, probably our biggest platform for this, but it'll also be on Instagram, X, and Blue Sky. So like there'll be information everywhere. And I think some stuff will be happening on TikTok. So that's exciting. So yeah, I think search the hashtag and see what people are sharing. And there's normally just a wealth of really good resources, people sharing kind of in-depth looks at what skills you need to do their jobs or what their job entails. And I think the real hope of it, of the week, is to kind of demystify some of publishing. And when I was first thinking about working in publishing, I really only could picture editorial. Um, and that didn't really appeal to me. So I kind of dismissed publishing as an industry and went and looked at other things. And then I happened to, while working somewhere else, get invited to a publisher showcase and realized that publishers, loads of them have in-house publicity teams. And it was like a eureka moment for me. I was like, that's perfect. I'll do that. And so then I really made that my focus. But it was sort of through a twisty way that I even came to that information. And I wish that I had seen, I mean, I don't know if Work in Publishing Week was actually around at that point, but I wish that I'd been aware that there's all
Yeah.
these resources to discover the different kind of departments and roles within departments that you can find on the Publishers Association websites and on lots of our publishers' websites and book careers um, too. Because yeah, there may be a perfect job that's really well suited to you somewhere in the industry and you just haven't heard of it yet.
Yeah, or you go off and create it, like
Yeah.
create your own as well. Um, a bit like me,
Yeah.
a bit like me. And it's really interesting you say that. And one, I think I've said on this podcast before that one of the things was when I was leaving school, the age of 16, my careers advice then was, do you want to work in an office? Do you want to work in a shop? Do you want to work indoors? Do you want to work outdoors? And that was very much it. And I'd always had a lot of books. I was always the person that the English teacher had commandeered to tidy up the books in the English cupboard at the end of term. But nobody ever told me that I could work in publishing. And that's why working in publishing and spreading the careers of that's about working in the industry has become so much of a vocation for me. So it was just luck that I ended up in the industry at the age of 16, and here I still am. So You've also got an amazing campaign that's launching this week when we're recording, People in Publishing. So tell us a bit more about
Yes. So our People of Publishing campaign is a campaign where we celebrate um, all sort of the interesting, innovative things happening in publishing by way of kind of a handful of people who have been doing fantastic things. So um, this year we have 8 fantastic people of publishing, and they come from kind of across different sectors and different a variety of roles. And so we are launching that on Wednesday, the 12th of November, which I believe means the announcement will have happened by the time this goes out. And it's just a fantastic, we've got a brilliant launch video that'll be a feature in the bookseller. And it's just, again, a really great way to see kind of the variety of sectors and roles that exist within publishing. But we also have this launch video, and I think, it's just best to hear sometimes from people in their own words why they love working in the industry and what about their jobs they find so exciting. And so I'm really, really excited for people to see the video, because I think, yeah, often it's the people who are doing the jobs that sell their jobs the
yeah,
best. So you get a little bit of a snippet of um, their various roles, and then kind of what they love about their roles and working in the industry. So it's, yeah, hopefully after listening to this podcast, you can go and look up the video.
yeah, definitely, definitely. That's one to look at. People of Publishing. Now, just before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to mention?
I don't think I did have anything else particular to mention apart from this has been so fun. Thank you so much for having me on.
It's a pleasure. Now, I do get told off because we don't talk enough about real books on this podcast. So I'm asking all our guests, what book are you reading at the moment?
I'm reading The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I am really enjoying it so far. It's a sort of thriller mystery, and it's set in a summer camp in the northeast of the United States across a couple of different time periods. There's sort of flashbacks, and it's a little bit creepy, but so far it's not too scary. I'm not very good at scary. It's not too scary, but it's very intriguing, and I think it's really well written with really interesting characters.
That's great. Thank you. And that's the author is Liz Moore, and it's published by the Borough Press. And there'll be a link to that book in the show notes. Well, Jasmine, thank you so much for sparing us your time when it must be a frantic week like it is for me just before work in publishing week. And there'll be a link to Jasmine and the Publishers Association and of course work in publishing week in the show notes that accompany this episode. Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you.
If you're looking for a job in book publishing, please subscribe to this channel and visit bookcareers.com for further resources, including how to access one-to-one career guidance. And don't forget to buy the book, How to Job Search in Book Publishing, The Ultimate Insider's Guide. May you all be doing a job you love and being paid the salary that you so richly deserve.